Well, we meet again. Hello, everyone. We are here in New York City, of course. We're on a spot. I'm telling you, it's got to be one of my most favorite spots. And I'm going to use something I've never used before. A word. I am appreciative that the New York State Department of Conservation has taken such good care of these hundreds of acres here in Richmond County. Okay, where am I? This location, this beautiful rolling hills, which if you go that way on these beautiful paved trails, takes you to the Atlantic Ocean coastline that way. Behind me, right here, is a beautiful building, and there's a little lighthouse on the other side of it. This place is gorgeous. It's called Mount Loretto Unique Area in Richmond County, and it's operated and maintained by the New York State Department of Conservation, of Environmental Conservation. These men and women that take care of this property, kudos to them. I'm going to pan the camera and we're going to take just a quick pan of how beautiful. It looks like I'm on a golf course. Okay? Look at this. This is just absolutely beautiful. Folks, this goes for hundreds of acres. People come here for bike riding and walking. They walk their dogs, they play with their kids and grandkids. This is just an absolutely beautiful place. Mount Loretto Unique Area, Richmond County, New York. Okay. Why is Carmine here today, folks? Okay. A few classes back, I did a full review, interview of the Yashica Electro 35 GTN. This is the black version. The GSN Electro 35 is the silver edition. But right after, of course it's always going to be that way. Of course, as soon as I did that review of this beautiful camera, let's get the scene a little bit better. Okay. Right after I did the review of that camera, in came these gorgeous screw-on auxiliary lenses. So what are they? Well, the camera, this rangefinder film camera, and by the way, today we're shooting with ilford FP4 125 ISO, or ASA if you have gray hair. So the camera has equipped with a 45mm 1.7, yep, 1.7, gorgeous lens. So they knew, Yashica knew 50 years ago when they built these cameras that photographers, both professional and semi-professional and amateur, would like to have the option of a telephoto and a wide angle lens. Now, this 45mm lens is permanent. It's a rangefinder permanent 45mm lens. So Yashica came up with these gorgeous optics. Okay, this one is the Yashica Auxiliary Telephoto. Now, here's how it works. You'll see this time when I'm doing this review, this is new too, this finder. Here's how it works. You focus in on your subject using the regular rangefinder, okay? Let's say you're focused in on 5 feet, and you want to use the telephoto lens. You have to look at the scale around the lens to achieve perfect focus with this auxiliary telephoto lens. So for 5 feet, okay, you look that it says use the red markings okay? On here, there's red and silver numbers. You look at the red one that's closest to what you're focused on. We'll make it 7 feet. It'll be easier that way. Say I'm focused on something 7 feet away using the built-in rangefinder. You look on the lens and it says, if you're focused at something 7 feet away, turn the focusing ring to 10 feet away. So you just focus to 10 feet away. Now, if you look through the rangefinder, it's going to be out of focus. That's why you have to use the auxiliary rangefinder. This auxiliary rangefinder has two lines on the inside. One says tele and one says wide. Let me see if I can get you guys to see that. Oops, wrong side. Let's see. Where's the camera? Okay. Okay, inside the viewfinder here, okay, is a tele frame and a wide frame lines, okay? So, after you focus, then adjust focus because you have on this auxiliary lens. You use this finder to frame your picture, not the rangefinder, okay? You frame it. Of course, now you do your exposure, right? The Electro 35 has in the viewfinder and on top of the camera red lights, yellow lights to show you you're underexposed, you're overexposed, and as you adjust your f-stop, your aperture, you'll take the picture when there's no lights. It's an aperture priority camera. The camera picks the shutter speed. Now, if you remember from the last review of the Yashica Electro 35 GTN, I told you the beauty of this camera is that the shutter speeds are stepless. So it'll use a combination of your f-stop and the computer will pick the shutter speed. It's stepless. So it can use shutter speeds of 1/99th of a second, 1/110th of a second, right? Unlike your manual 35mm single lens reflex or rangefinder cameras, where you only have choices of 1/25th of a second or 1/250th of a second, it can use every increment in between every other shutter speed up to 500th of a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, this house on this hill, gorgeous. I'm going to photograph it 3 times with the telephoto auxiliary lens and the wide angle auxiliary lens. It screws on the front like a filter, okay? And the third picture will be without any auxiliary lens, just the 45mm lens that's built into the rangefinder. So I'll take 3 pictures, one with the telephoto auxiliary, one with the wide angle auxiliary lens, and one with the regular 45, okay? We'll be shooting this beautiful house up on this hill, which is just absolutely gorgeous. It's a stone house. I believe it's operated by either the federal government or the state government. It's on the highest point here on the coastline of the Atlantic Ocean here in Richmond County. It's just gorgeous. So you will see the results of using auxiliary lenses on the, whoops, let's fix this. Okay, so you'll see the results of using the auxiliary screw-on lenses for the Yashica Electro 35 GTN camera. It'll work also for the GSN, okay? Just so you know, This is called the Y203 lens, made in Japan. Yashica auxiliary telephoto, and the same for the wide angle auxiliary lens, except it says wide angle. And the kit, right, it came in a kit of the two lenses and the finder, okay, for a whopping $26. That's the beauty of shopping on eBay. You take your time. If you don't see what you want at a good price today, look tomorrow, look next week. When I saw this was unused, new old stock. It had, each lens had both lens caps with the case, mint condition, never used, $26. Oh, and that was $26 delivered price, including shipping. Okay, I told you we're shooting today. Let me just show you the lid with ilford FP4 Plus ISO 125. I'm going to take those pictures today, and we're going to take a look at using the telephoto auxiliary lens screwed onto the front of the 45mm, the regular 45mm, and the wide angle auxiliary. Okay, guys. By the way, these auxiliary lenses are all optical glass, made in Japan by Yashica, and they're extremely heavy. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. And look at the size of it. Oh, you'll also be glad to know, because I had the question, you can put filters on this also. I'm not quite sure the millimeter filters this would take, but you could put filters on it, all right? But you'd have to put your adjustment, right? You'd have to make your exposure compensation if you're going to put a colored filter on here. If you're putting a UV or a skylight filter on here, you don't have to compensate. But say you're going to use a nice orange filter to get some contrast, or if there was some beautiful clouds on the blue sky, you could use a red filter, open up 3 stops, and it would turn that blue sky black and make the white clouds pop. Okay, but if you're using just the plain auxiliary lenses, no compensation. Okay, guys, so let's look at this beautiful scene, photographed 3 times. Telephoto auxiliary, regular 45 built-in lens on the Yashica GTN, and the wide angle auxiliary screw-on lens that cost a whopping $26 on eBay, new old stock, with the finder. Guess what? The finder alone, some people are selling the finder alone for $45. All right, guys, take it easy. Let's look at the Yashica GTN auxiliary lenses photographed right this second.